Denzel Washington is easily one of my top 10 favorite actors of all time. And I think a big reason for that is how he constantly proves just how versatile he can be. He may have dipped his toes into the action genre a lot late in his career, but every once in a while he still flexes those dramatic muscles and lets you know exactly what he's still capable of. To me, the guy can just do no wrong, and he instantly makes whatever project he is a part of better just by being involved. And I think The Equalizer 3 is no exception to that. Let's discuss.
I'm the man up in this piece. King Kong ain't got on me.
I watch so you don't have to.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Come on. Do it. Do it!
The Equalizer 3 once again follows ex-government assassin Robert McCall, who is now living in southern Italy and soon discovers his new friends are under the control of a local crime boss. Now let me make this very clear. A big reason why I would prefer something like The Equalizer 3 over some other revenge-style action franchises that came out this year is quite simply everything that happens in this movie feels like it means more.
That makes sense.
It's not just an endless line of action sequences that feel like they serve no greater purpose other than to just look good. I just think this movie has a bit more story behind it. It's presenting the audience with a situation where they actually care about what's going on with these characters in this conflict. And I think my biggest takeaway from Equalizer 3 is how Robert McCall himself is portrayed in it. First off, I just want to say this movie has a surprising amount of religious imagery contained within it, something that has become more and more rare in modern films. And it's not just there for the sake of having it, it serves a greater purpose. Robert is initially presented to us as a man who doesn't know whether he is a good or bad man based on the things that he's done in his life. He's questioning his actions over the past few years, and he doesn't really know his place in this world. So when he comes across this peaceful small town in Italy, it feels right to him. It feels like he found a place where he belongs. A place where he can find peace.
I could live here.
Of course, things go south when the local mafia is revealed to be extorting this small town. But that's kind of the other aspect to this movie that I really enjoyed. It very much directly addresses how Robert seems to be in the right place at the right time on so many different occasions. I mean, sure, it's convenient so we can have more Equalizer movies.
Coincidence? I think not!
But the idea that he is being placed in these situations where he is needed, either through faith or some kind of other divine intervention, is hinted at, and I'm here to say I'm not against it. Robert was given these skills so he could help people in need. They seemingly added this whole spiritual aspect to the whole concept of what the Equalizer is. And the spiritual stuff also plays into how Robert is forced to rebuild himself both emotionally and physically throughout the course of this film. We get to see what being an unstoppable killing machine does to a man's psyche.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
And as far as the action and violence goes, I was surprised at how little of that stuff was actually included. It's there, but it feels like they only use it when the time is right. When they've built it up to a moment where it's going to mean more. So when the killing eventually starts, it's that much more brutal and that much more satisfying.
I like it a lot.
There's more than a couple moments that caught me off guard in this film, in the best way possible, of course. One thing that I didn't notice as much in the previous Equalizer movies that I noticed in this one is how Robert is portrayed as almost kind of a slasher on more than one occasion in this film, especially in the finale. Not only do they show him being somewhat unstable mentally, and we've all seen how he has that switch that gets flicked whenever somebody pisses him off, and then he goes into this trans-like kill mode where he sees everything in slow motion.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
But in this movie, he felt much more like a Michael Myers-inspired character, kind of lurking in the shadows and stalking his prey. I love the moments where we see the aftermath of his carnage, without actually seeing the act that led up to it. It's just as effective, if not more effective, to let the audience think about what he did to these men. I just really appreciate some level of subtlety in a modern movie. It is rare in this day and age.
Ooh, so exciting, isn't it?
The story itself, involving the townspeople and the conflict they are facing, isn't really anything that we haven't seen before, but I did like how they used the small town in Italy aesthetic to enhance this film visually. There's just some beautiful imagery that serves as a nice backdrop to all of the bad things that are going on in the plot.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Dakota Fanning is in this movie, and this is the first time she's been in a movie with Denzel since Man on Fire. And I have to be honest, I always found her to be pretty obnoxious as a child actress, and she's not annoying in this movie, but her character does leave something to be desired. I understand why she is there, but at the same time she feels a bit unnecessary to the story they are trying to tell. And the connection they make towards the end of the film, as it pertains to her greater significance, does feel a bit too neat and predictable.
Not impressed.
The villains in this movie are also pretty forgettable. There's nothing that really distinguishes them away from all of the other villains we've seen in movies like this. We know their only real purpose is to do bad shit and then get killed in the most badass way possible. And they do serve that purpose, but I just wish their characters had a bit more to do. One other thing that I felt was really well done in this movie was the score. I just love it when movies use a score to help change the tone from scene to scene. It's like when certain notes hit, you know shit is about to go down and Denzel's about to kill some people. Too often in movies now, we just have scores that fade into the background and really don't add anything to the movie. Overall, I pretty much got exactly what I expected out of Equalizer 3. My guess would be if you enjoyed the other two films in the franchise, you will most likely enjoy this one.
Tell me a story.
I enjoyed the fact that the action was there, but it wasn't all about the action, which is actually something very refreshing about this franchise. And even if some parts were generic as it pertains to the story, it still gave me a reason to care, and I appreciated that. Denzel and director Antoine Fuqua deserve a lot of credit for elevating the concept of the Equalizer to different heights, and taking it in a fresh direction and doing it the right way.
Bye.
And that's how it's done.
The movies might not be perfect, but to me, they serve as a solid action franchise that doesn't get enough credit for just how entertaining they are. And that's why I'm going to give The Equalizer 3 the pleased Palpatine.
Good. Good.
Y'all be cool. Right on.